I'm Gary Froiland. Well, today I'm going to work on my dad's guitar. We went up in the attic and guess what we found? My dad's old guitar from a long, long time ago. It was all dusty. It looked like this when we first saw it up in the attic. And there's some damage on the side, as you can see there. A hole in the side. And so I took it down, and the first thing I did was clean it up. It was all dirty inside and out. I cleaned it out really good. And there was one of the tuner gears and posts were missing, but I had extra ones, so I put that in there. I found one that fit. How about that? And all the tuners moved a little bit, but and one of them was really stuck. It wouldn't move. I didn't want to break these pegs, the tuner knobs, so I used some of this Froiland and put on there for a couple days, and then it was still stuck, but I took a little vice grip on the shaft there, and it came right loose. And so now they all work really good. And so that's a good thing. I don't have to replace these. These seem really good. Well, one thing was this bridge fell off here. It was loose, and so I had to glue that again. And so I've got some special clamps here that go in here for guitars to clamp bridges and ribs and stuff like that. And so I put that on there, and I lined the thing up with the holes that are already there. I put some of these pegs in there to line it up, then clamp it. And then I took these out again, and I used woodworker's glue to hold that down. Then I took some Q-tips and cleaned it out to make sure there was no glue there anymore. However, there's been a little addition on this one. Somebody put this on here because maybe they had bridge problems before, and so they put this deal on here that the strings go through. I didn't know much about this guitar, so I went online, and here you see it's a Recording King Carson J. Robinson Model K. And inside there's a date stamp. It's November 1938. So I looked it up, and guess what? The Gibson Company made these guitars for Montgomery Ward. And so it should be a really good guitar when it's made by Gibson. And so we'll see if we can get it fixed up. Well, I gotta patch this hole, that's for sure. And so I'm gonna measure here. Let's see now. It's gonna be, I'm gonna have to have a strip inside probably of wood, about 14 inches long and about 1.5 inches wide. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I bought some wood there, some basswood, 1/8 inch thick. So I'm gonna cut some strips out of there and for the inside, and then to patch the hole on the outside. And I'm gonna have to soak it in water so it gets the curve of the guitar. So now I'm going to get a pail of water and put these boards in there. Let them soak for however long it takes to get them pliable, so I can get them shaped into the shape of the guitar. I'll probably put some nails on the board with that shape and let that dry then. Kind of a warm day, so I think I'll get a drink of water here. Ah, good old Cooper water. Okay, I'll let that dry a few days and we'll see how it turns out. There, it looks like these are going to fit pretty good. The shape of the guitar right there, I'll glue one inside and then cut the one shape to fit in the hole that I'm going to cut for the patch. Now this is pretty close to the edge here on the back edge, so I'm going to cut this away so it will be flush with the back of the guitar. See, this rib is a little bit loose here too, a little bit unglued. So I think I'll glue that first. Once I get this all cleaned up, I'll glue that and let that dry. Looking real good. Now this is a little bit rough, so I'm going to sand in here. So I'm going to fix this little rib here where it's loose. Put some glue in there. Do that first of all. Okay, the rib is all dry. I'll take this clamp off now. And I'm going to get ready to put the piece inside. There, I cut this out on the bandsaw so it's notched out so that I missed the binding and edging in there. And also a little bit right there, so I'll put this on the inside. I think what I have to do is drill some holes here and then put a screw into the wood to hold it up against the guitar when the glue is drying. I'll do that here too. And that'll put pressure upwards on this piece to glue it into place. And here, let's see, right about here. Okay. I gotta get this piece of wood inside, and then I'll drill a small hole through the larger hole for this a washer and a screw to hold it from the outside, snug it up there. So we'll move the inside of this edge here. I'm going to put a wire around this piece of wood so I can pull it up into place. There. Nice and tight. Okay, I got this into place and snapped up against the binding in there. Drill a hole here. And put a washer and a screw in there. There we go. I'm going to make sure it's glued. And the edges here too. Okay, I'll cut the wire off here. The inside that I can glue this other piece, I'll cut that to fit and put that in there to make the right depth. Now I've got to get the binding strips in the bottom edge of that I'm gluing there. And these things, I'm going to bend these, just slightly breaking the binding there, so I get a curve there. I want to match the curve of the guitar. There, now I've got 3 pieces bent, and I'm going to kind of stick them in there, make sure they fit the curve really well. Okay, so I'll flip these around and glue them and put them inside there so they'll bind the side and the back together. A little bit later. When I get them all 3 of them in there, I'll put a little more glue in there and then clamp the body a little bit to put a little pressure on there. And I got a light I'm going to stick in there so I can see exactly what's going on. And I got to take this long screwdriver and get in there and push just a little bit. There. Looks good. One more to go. When I got this into position just to see if it was in the right place, I noticed there was a rib in the guitar. This is in the way for it, so I'm going to cut this piece off. There we go. So now I've got the wires holding all those pieces in place. I got some extra glue in there, All this tape is holding the wires down until it dries. Okay, now that's all dry, and so I can take these screws out. So I'll take it out to my sander, and I'll have to sand it a little narrower too, because it's really too wide. And I'll have to take it off about maybe 1/8 of an inch off there to make it fit. Okay, I got this piece cut out. I put bottom on there so I know which is down. And when I put it in there, you know, it just about sticks in there by itself. How about that? Well, I'm going to put some woodworker's glue in there, and then take this clamp, this built-in type clamp, and go around the guitar to hold that in place while the glue dries. There, I put some wax paper first, and then I put this strap around there and tighten that up, and we'll just let that dry there. There, that should be good and tight. Holding that piece right in there, we'll let that dry overnight. There we go. Okay, here we are. I got the guitar all done. And so there's where it was all bashed up. I tried to put stain on there on the new wood, but with the different woods it didn't look good, so I had to end up painting it here. So it's all ready to go. Even got a little tag on there with the history of it and who owned it before, my dad. And so here we go. How it sounds. There's a barefoot boy with boots on, came walking down the street. His pants are full of pockets, his shoes are full of heat. He was born when he was a baby, his grandma's pride and joy. His only sister was a girl, his brother was a boy. He never was a triplet, he always was a twin. His legs were fastened to his knees, just above the shin. His tongue was fastened to his mouth, some inches from his shoulder. And when he was a grown-up man, he every day grew older. One day he married a woman that quickly became his wife. Her weight was just 600, she weighed that all her life. Her head was full of blonde hair, her mouth was full of tongue. They raised a dozen children, all born when they were young. The youngest was the baby, the oldest was born first. The good one was the best one, the bad one was the worst. They never knew their ages, they never had to fear. They knew they had a birthday a-comin' in